Hello and welcome to another episode of Das Boot Diaries. You join us on board the U-48. Let's bring us on in. Shout out to Kiwiness. I know you've been persuading me to try and get back on to doing these. Well, here we are, departing La Rochelle. First thing on the morning of the 5th of May, 1941. So here she goes off out into the Atlantic. We're going to go on the western approaches, so that bit of sea that's between the UK and Ireland, that's where we're going. We were halfway through a patrol. We're going back now to finish it off. Incidentally, guys, real life on 1941 for May, so in the World War, we're going back here. The U-boat fleet lost one U-boat in May 1941, so it was a relatively good month for them. They've had some months prior to this where they lost many more. Of that boat that sank, 15 of the crew died, 32 survivors owing to a warship. During the same month, the Allies lost 66 ships in total. 63 of those were sunk, totaling 351,000 tons, plus another 24,000 tons worth of shipping in the three that were heavily damaged. And so without any further ado then, let's take a little look on the map view. So here's La Rochelle. We'll just zoom out a little bit. If we take a look here, here we go on the western coast of France. Here's our patrol sector for the mission today. You can ignore all the little markings on the map from previous. Here's the UK, Northern Ireland. That's where we're going. And being May 1941, you can see here this darker grey area, the Axis controlling a large area now. Still Switzerland, obviously, remain neutral. Spain as well. And if we come over here, I guess technically Sweden too. All right, so let's get back on with it then as we depart. I'll bring you back when we're a little closer to our patrol sector. If we were able to go at full speed, not flank, but full speed, as long as the weather remains calm, we've got no need to dive. This usually takes somewhere between 24 and 30 hours. I'll bring you back at such time. Welcome back. We've actually managed it in just 20 hours. It is shortly after midnight on the 6th of May 1941. We've just gone red lighting as the sun has gone down. All the difficulty settings for this game are on. The only exception is I've increased the lighting to make it a little easier to see things on stream. Otherwise, every time it's dark, you're just going to see a black screen, and I'm going to see very dark shades of grey. So it's going to help us out both a little bit. Plus, I've got the option to allow the camera to be third person, which allows us for these cinematic shots. Can you use them to cheat? Well, a little bit, but when the action's going, we'll stick to the periscope. So we'll try our best not to use the camera for cheating. And it's time for our first routine dive. So shortly after midnight on the 6th, let's go down. I'll bring you with us as we do that then. So coming back on board the boat, here we go. It's just a case now, you used to have to do all of this yourself. They added a button since the routine dive, and it just does everything that you need to do. So it stops the engine, goes down 50 meters, I almost said 50 feet, but of course we're metric, it's meters. And Schuster, who's our trusty radio guy, who's been on board since the very beginning of the patrol. We've not lost him in real life, and I hated this aspect, and certainly they must have since figured out it's not always a good thing to do. After every patrol, you know, the crews wouldn't necessarily stay the same. They would get broken up. And so, you know, they'd put, oh, there's a new boat over here. They need some new experienced guys on. There's another boat with some injured, whatever. And so, you know, the team was constantly being reshuffled. And yeah, and including the captain himself and the crew. It was a very difficult time for the crew when the captain was reshuffled. Anyway, let's see what comes up on the sonar then. I'll just switch to the map view. And there you can see we're just inside our patrol sector. Nothing there really to talk about. We'll give Schuster an assist. I didn't realize I hadn't done that. That gives him an extra 25% or so. And so, yeah, this here, the very northwestern tip of France, just off the edge of the southwestern tip of the UK. And so far, I don't think we're going to see anything. And so what I'm going to do is carry on cruising through the night. I'm going to perform a couple of routine dives up here, and I will just bring you back when we first come across our contact. Alright, we've just been coming back up from a routine dive, still nothing there, and as we did so we received a message upon surfacing. A convoy in Square Bravo Fox 229, a U-boat is in pursuit, 9 merchant ships plus 4 escorts have been recognized. They're on a westerly course, and if we come away from this we can see here the transmission was set from here. So if these guys are heading west, I assume they're tracking along the coastline here of the UK. You can see we're there, so we're going to turn east now to intercept. It's currently 7th AM on the 6th of May 1941. Pretty wet weather, wet, windy, cloudy, miserable, typical British weather. Although, as to be said, it's May, early May, maybe so. I'll bring you back when we're a little closer to these guys. We certainly didn't detect them yet on the hydrophone. Alright guys, decided to duck down to periscope depth. You join me here about 3 hours later. There's a single contact over here. I'm not entirely sure what this is, but I'm not too interested. Here we've got 8 to 19 contacts. This is surely to be the contacts that our friendly report spoke to us about. And as you can see, these guys are clearly tracking along the coastline of the UK. And so my plan is to turn north, and having now detected these guys, we'll continue. I reckon I see no reason why not to stay submerged. If we come out, we can see it is now a lovely morning. It's cleared up. That awful weather has disappeared. We do have access to our snorkel, so we'll raise the snorkel, and with it we'll keep oxygen going. We'll be able to keep the diesels running, and we'll be able to keep use of the hydrophone, and there will be less chance that we will be spotted from aircraft in the air. I'll bring you back once we're a little closer to the convoy here at just after, well, we're currently just before 11 here. Alright guys, alarm has been called, and indeed smokestacks in sight. Let's get rid of the snorkel, the gyro, switch to blue lighting for silent running, dive planes to manual. And with that, let's slow engines to silent running. Warship spotted. We're not going to radio that off. We don't want to risk giving away our position. And we'll lower periscope. Back to map view. So here's the convoy. Very close indeed. So kind of a late alarm. Weren't spotted until these guys were about 6 kilometers from our boat. What's interesting here, and I'm not sure how much of this is down to luck or what, we can see the bulk of the convoy here. We've got one destroyer escorting here. We've got another here. We happen to be right in the middle of that. And so if we play our cards right, we'll have to see how deep the water is here. If I move my mouse over the area, we can see here in the top right corner, it's not particularly deep at all, at 60 meters or so. So I'm thinking it may even be worth to lie myself on the seabed, allow for the destroyers to go past, and then surface in the middle of this convoy, start taking some pot shots. There's at least one further warship back here, so there will be 3 guys looking for us once the fish start flying. I'll bring you back. So here we are, and here's the seabed. And that little boom you hear is us coming into contact with it. I assume, I tried to do it as gently as possible. I assume the bang's just more relative to the people inside. Hopefully it doesn't make a loud bang. If we come onto the map view now, here you can see what's happened. I did swing the boat round slightly, so our tubes will be more or less in the decent direction for firing. If I just get rid of these markers here, we'll get some up-to-date range information. So if I spread this circle here, about 2 kilometers radius. So hopefully, if this guy continues on course, he'll be around 2 kilometers away. This guy here, potentially even further. Hello, welcome back. You joined us here. We're about 20 minutes after you were last with us. The 2 destroyers have just passed off our bow and stern in the way that we had hoped. And those really loud propellers you can hear chugging above us if I shut up. Those are the merchant ships. In fact, according to sonar, there's one pretty much above us right now. Just sticking the camera up. Is it cheating? I don't know. You tell me. Well, we know he's there. If we take a look on map view, here he is. This is the guy I was talking about. This view not cheating. This is our sonar. Sort of plotting the ships on a map to be helpful, if you like. We've got the destroyer here and here, as we said, that's going past us. This guy's far too close to take a pop at. So I'm going to stay laid on the seafloor. Hopefully he doesn't spot us. I don't see why not. We're 60 meters below the surface. So even if he does look down, I doubt he'll be able to detect us. And then we'll make a move for these guys here. This, I think, will be a suitable first target. I may even shoot at this one first, this guy second, and hope by the time the torpedoes connect with this guy, that this guy will be too close to us, really, to then evade. Alright then, 5 minutes have passed. Let's make a move. So periscope depth, yes. We've got Klaus, the captain. No, you get back on the command station. We want all your assists there. We'll give Knurdies, the guy on the engines at the minute, with 1 assist. Hoffman. I'll tell you what, we'll put Hoffman on... Well, we can't put him on radios because this guy is... So we've got 2 Hoffmans to confuse things. Alright. The watch officer Hoffman, get on the radio. The other Hoffman is an engineer. Get this guy making maintenance on the torpedoes. I realize it makes a little bit of noise, but everything else is rigged for ultra quiet. We've got manual depth keeping as well. Weber is on that. And that leaves Menzel to get on the periscope depth, which, well, we're about there now, so... I don't know if it's if we'll have to tell him to do so or if he'll automatically go there, seeing as we have assigned all the other officers. Here we go, attack scope. And so Menzel get on the scope. We'll give him 2 assistants as well. Of course, it's an alarm, so everybody is out of their bunks and awake. Maximum crew availability. Let's have a little gander. And we'll zoom out. Yeah, so this is the nearest guy to us that I was assuming will be the second one we take a pop at. The first one that was across the way, this one here actually, I think is an oiler, a tanker, and I think he's about ready for a shot now. We're going to have to be very quick though because he's already passed the bow a little bit. That's the one, it's the Dale class. I'm just going to give our boat a little bit of... Oh, perhaps we want to be back a little bit, come to think of it. Either way, we're just going to square the front off a tad. And we're going to have to be very quick here. A velocity, I'm just going to go with the average of about 13 kmh and hope that I'm right. He's close enough that even if I am wrong, I'm hoping it will work. He's not zigging and zagging. We're ever so slightly ahead on the AOB, so I'm going to go with 85. Distance, seeing as we have ID'd him, let's be really quick. The waterline is about there. Sea is a little rough. It's about there. Set 900 meters. Let's go tube 3. No, tube 4 because it's not steam, it's electric. And should the torpedo miss at 1,000 meters, it can double back to the left. And then with that, I'm hoping it may have a chance of hitting some of the other convoy ships. Okay, so with that one targeted the torpedo tubes away, let's unlock from the TDC. Turn the scope round quickly to the left. This is the guy that we're going for next. I believe this guy could be a tanker as well. Yeah, the waves really are choppy for considering how close we are to the land. And it's these two. So let's continue. And it's this one, the November-Alpha 1 with the 2 rods hanging inwards like this. We've got this little structure here at the front and the chimney. So I'm going to recognize that. Speed, it's going to be so close it almost doesn't matter, but let's go to 13 regardless.
20 Sekunden.
Just make sure we do still got our depth keeping guy. Yes, we do.
Treffer.
Nice, we got a good connection. Let's give this one a course of AOB, I beg your pardon, of 45 degrees. And we'll measure the distance now. I'm just going to raise the scope briefly to try and get it more accurately. That last slot wasn't bad at all. Come on, this guy's really close. That took forever to split. There we go, 460 meters. He could be zigging in towards us a little bit, so let's reduce that. Tube 3. I'm not going to increase the speed because he's so close. And with that... Los.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
I'm going to unlock...
Sie sinken.
And we'll get rid of that. And if we take a look, yeah, there we go. The oiler's sunk. And with that, we've already completed the objective of our tonnage, which is great. I did say it was about halfway done. So that was a decent boat there. So let's keep an eye on this one. Hopefully we'll connect. And at that point, we'll see...
10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Is it possible to get another one, or do we need to escape some destroyers? That was a good connection as well, considering we guesstimated the speed. It was on the rear half of the ship, so either they were going a little faster. Wow, that one sunk so fast. So either they were going a little faster or I misjudged the range a little bit. Of course, all of the above are possible. Couple having gone past then, and then, yeah, there are the warships. They're now swinging back round. There's a bit of the UK there. Just a tiny bit of land, ways off in the distance. Bit more over here. That one's far too far off the angle. That one we've sank. There's another one over there. The problem is if I shoot for that one, there's every chance the torpedoes are going to hit this boat here. I'm not sure. Yeah, we have sunk it per se. Right, here's another one. And this one... it's another weird one. Look, it's got this weird little contraption on the back. So we've got the connected masts, one at the front, one at the back. We've got the structure and then a little chimney. I believe this is this one. I think this bit here is that little weird bit at the back. We've got a little lip thing at the front. We've got this little bit here, which is this bit here. I'm satisfied that's the one. 13, it's served as well, so why change it? Course is, again, we're about 45 degrees off the AOB. He's zagging away, so let's up it to 50 some, and with that let's measure the range. Water seems a little calmer than it did before. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Set 1.1 on the distance. I'm going to go for tube 2. I'm just going to move the scope forward a bit because we were after the last guy. And hopefully, especially with them being tankers, as long as the torpedoes hit and they're not duds, usually it's a kill. If it's a distance, obviously I'd spread them a bit and fire more than one. And so with that, let's unlock. Let's keep our heads on the swivel. Not yet heard any pings. I can hear a high-pitched engine somewhere, so there is some guy on the lookout for us.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
And there's the ping.
Sonarwellen, Herr Kaloi. 30 Sekunden.
And we've got this guy here. This is a suitable target. Ah, this was the one we were going for. I am silly.
20 Sekunden.
That is the warship. It's heading straight towards us, so I'm going to suspect we've been pinged. We've got a nice contact there, and there's no way he's going to survive that. I'm going to raid you off the messages, because these guys have spotted us. I'm going to line ourselves up with the destroyer just to help reduce the amount of reflectivity that our sub is going to be giving the sonar. And with it, Menzel, I see no reason why he, needs his assistance. Put the scope down. Let's give Hoffman another assist so those torpedoes get reloaded ASAP. And what I'm going to do is we'll stay surface just for the meanwhile. I say surface. At periscope depth, just while our radio messages get sent off. And then assuming this destroyer gets any closer, we'll go down. We see it's currently about 2 kilometers away, but that's going to close awfully quick. I'll bring you back once we've got an update here. It's currently 12:51 in the afternoon on the 6th of May, 1941, just off the south coast of the UK. Welcome back. 5 minutes later, destroyer still making a beeline towards us, despite presenting our narrow thing. We've not heard any more pings, so I suspect he can't find us. There's another destroyer that was previously out ahead that's also made its way back to our location, so I suspect things are gonna get well, they're gonna get dodgy soon. I'm gonna have to ask my torpedo guy Hoffman here to stop loading torpedoes, because that is a sound that can be heard by the destroyers. And so this here really is ultra quiet. All the systems are off. We've got blue lighting. We're not allowing the reloading of torpedoes. We've got manual depth keeping with Weber on there, and everybody else is just doing a job that doesn't make any sound. And so, yeah, I'll let you know. If we could take a quick look on map view, we can see here the nearest destroyer is about 850 meters away, so he's going to be able to hear almost anything. So we'll stay silent here. If he does come closer and start chucking depth charges, I'll have to order all the hatches to be sealed as well, which I don't think does anything for the sound, because you just hear people opening and shutting them all the time. But it will help if we get depth charged and start leaking. Depth charges have been reported, and there's some more. I think they're a little ways away. We saw how far the ship was. Expect some reverberations momentarily. They were quite some way away. Yeah, they're a long ways off. These guys don't have a clue where we are. What I am going to do is take advantage of the confusion thanks to those depth charges. We see we've got this guy here. We've got this guy here chucking depth charges. My plan is to go in this direction here. So let's lay in a course. I may as well go back to periscope depth. We'll go to slow running because part of our sounds are going to be masked by these recent depth charges. And with a bit of luck, we'll be ready to go once we're there. I will get my guy to start performing maintenance on the torpedoes, because we're going to need those ASAP. I'll bring you back once we're at periscope depth. Hopefully there'll be another guy that we can go for once we're there. I'm just going to clear this mark away. And I'll bring you back. Right then, Menzel, up scope, get a couple of assistants with you, and tell me what you can see. Hoffman, who's on the radio, send your messages off. The guys know we're here anyway, so there's nothing to be gained by maintaining radio silence. And, oh, if we're lucky, we might just be able to pick this guy off on a very long... it's not the best angle, is it, ever, by a long stretch. Speed 13. It was this guy. Course AOB. Well, it's a terrible one. It's like right there, and even then he's zagging away. There's a chance he may zag back into us if we're really lucky. What sort of range we talking? 970. You know what? I'm going to go for it. Tube 4. Los. And with a bit of luck, that'll hit, but there's no by far from a guarantee. And we're going to take this opportunity to head away from the destroyers. So the destroyers seem to be searching to our northwest. So guess what? We're heading southeast. And so there are 3 confirmed sinkings and this torpedo. So there you can see that is an horrific angle. If ever there was. I'm just hoping that this guy zags back into us and that torpedo gets a better angle. The worst angle, even if you do hit the boat, but it's a very shallow angle, or acute angle, I believe they call it, there's every chance that the torpedo will just scrape down the side of the hull and not cause any damage. But there you can see, is zagging, is beginning to zag there. Oh, it's going to be close, but still have the scope up. Oh, it's going to be very close. Let's take a look through the scope then.
20 Sekunden.
Where were we? Oh, where are we? Come on.
Treffer.
Oh my goodness, where were we? There we go, finally. Well, that's a surprise. We got him, and look how fast as well we blew his bow right off. He had no time to get a message off. You know, read sinking, you know, read a lot of sinkings, and sometimes it's like half an hour or more, and other times like that, there's very little time. I mean, I've never heard of something that went as quick as that. I'm sure it did, but, you know, you read people, they were asleep in bed, they had no time to get anything. There you see why, even if it took 2 minutes and you were asleep, you know, bang. Gonna take you at least 10 seconds to wake up with a jolt, figure out what the hell's just gone on, and then what's now? You've got 90 seconds, 100 seconds to get all your stuff? Well, in that case, nowhere near. All right, we'll radio that off as well. That was a lucky hit. And we see here this destroyer behind us again. So I'm going to just trend away from him. I'm going to reduce to silent running. I don't know, he's 2 kilometers away, so let's stay at slow speed. I'm going to get Menzel to lower his scope. We've got nothing to gain by keeping the scope out. If anything, we're going to get seen. There's another destroyer over here. He's a little ways off at this moment in time. He's about 4 and a bit kilometers. I'm going to try and... I don't know, man. I do want to escape, but at the same time, I don't want to present a fat angle or sort of perpendicular angle to these destroyers here. I want to present as thin as possible, and we'll try and escape here. Because if they start pinging, you know, the thin end of the U-boat, it barely reflects anything. The fat end obviously gives them a big fat target. I'll bring you back. It's currently here 13:07, and yeah. A slight change on things then. It's now 10 minutes past 1, so just 3 or so minutes later, we're trying to pass under these lifeboats, and an aircraft has been detected. Menzel, I see no reason why to keep your scope up. Let's go down and let's just add a little bit of depth. We've got a bunch of people in lifeboats. We'll swing back to pick those up. I think after these guys have gone, I could do with the, well, it's the experience points, isn't it, that you get from these guys. Just 10 minutes later, and this happened. We was creeping away, and this guy got awfully close, awfully quick. Was one of them that suddenly was patrolling, then went really fast. I see he's just 300 or so meters away. So it's about 1,000 feet off our stern. We was heading this way. I've come to a full stop due to the proximity of this guy. Everything is still set on silent. I think we might just get away with it. Well, I don't believe this. About 45 minutes have passed. The bulk of the convoy, including that destroyer that was giving us bother, is sailing away. But we've had this other destroyer that suddenly decided to show up. I was hoping to surface and pick these guys up, but you know what? Let's go slow speed, periscope depth, and we'll make sure that Menzel gives it a good 360. Then we'll surface. We'll see if we can nab these guys ASAP before this guy down here gets any closer to us. How far is we're currently talking? He's currently 8 or 9 kilometers away, so with a bit of luck, as long as we present an acute profile, he shouldn't even see us. Right, Menzel says it's all good. We see the smokestacks way off in the distance. Let's send the messages and we'll attend the surface here. We've got the lifeboats right here. And we'll nab the officers. Let's also get a few other bits sorted. So gyro compass, we're not going to worry about that. Let's certainly get the pump on, the electric compressor on. We'll get normal lighting on for a bit. That'll do. And so here we see some lifeboats. Let's come a few degrees. Well, we'll go in the middle of these. Any officers on board? No. Okay. What about the other boat? Any officers on board? No. Okay. That one looked like there was empty, even though it said there were 4. All right, set a course for the next boat then, and full speed ahead. Any officers on board? Any officers? Let's have a little look. Take them on board, or just sailors. What about these guys down here? There's a lot of boats there. Full speed. We're taking fire. We're taking fire. The nearby destroyers happen to have seen us while we were maneuvering. I'm just seeing some water splash. And I think with that, we're going to go full flank speed. And we're going to try and get out of here. This guy here is far too close. Flank speed. And there's nothing to be gained by staying on the surface. Let's go to periscope depth. Serves us right for trying to nab the officers, right? And we ended up getting naught. We've gotten exposed. New communications. All right. Any information? It's encrypted. Well, Schuster's got better things to do than decrypt messages at this time. That shell landed uncomfortably close. Come on. Dive, dive, dive. Let's get rid of the compressor. Let's go back to blue lighting. And I'm going to go to full speed. We are at periscope depth. This guy's going to close awfully quick. But I've got a little trick under my sleeve. And that is...
Kapitän?
Find somebody suitable like Weber. Here, he's got 4 decoys on him. He's only going to need 1. Shove it out there. And that's that little chemical pill that's going to fizzle away in the sea. And those... all that bubbles and noise that it creates not only creates a sound that the enemy destroyer can hear on his sonar. It sounds like a propeller cavitating, but it also creates an image that the sonar ping reflects off. So it's a sound thing that they can hear, and it comes across like an object that appears as an object in the water. And so it's a twofold thing. Hopefully, this guy's going to go for that. We're going to reduce to half speed. If we check out how deep the sea is here, we see it's about 60 or 70 meters deep. So I'm going to go around 45 and hope that's enough. We'll head this way for a little bit, and then we'll try and sort of head out to sea like so. Alright, little update then. It's just gone 3 in the afternoon. This destroyer is well out of range. He didn't even go for our decoy. Never mind us. He's just over 6 kilometers away. He seems to be trending away. My crew's getting tired and stressed, so I've decided to come to a full stop. Despite my proximity to the UK coastline, there doesn't seem to be anything else here at this moment in time. We're just going to give it a few moments for this guy to get out of range. We are going to take the opportunity to go to periscope depth. I'm going to cancel the alarm, and so we'll get rid of that. And as soon as we're up there, let's get rid of the assistance here. Let's have a look. How are we doing for oxygen? We're great, actually, 89% due to our recent surfacing. So yeah, we'll just stay here silent, wait for that guy to go. And he did indeed disappear, so I've ordered the surfacing of the boat there. Bring you over to the cinematic view ASAP. There she goes. No speed at all, just creepy how it appears from beneath the waves. And yeah, I think we've gotten away with it. Alright, welcome back. We're now heading flank speed in a southwesterly direction. We know there are still a few ships left in that convoy, and we're going to try and catch them up. So there we go. I'll bring you back. Hopefully we'll be able to raid them, and it may even be before night time. And so, quick look on the map. If we take a look, here's where all our markings were from 2 or 3 hours ago. We see it's coming up to 4 in the afternoon. A lot of this went on between 1 and 2. A couple of hours or so ago. So I assume that the convoy's over here. The reason I'm not giving extra assistance to Menzel, who's currently officer of the watch, I don't want him ringing the alarm bell just yet. Our officers, a lot of them, as you can see, are very tired. They need a rest after that extended engagement. So we're letting them have a sleep, and then hopefully we'll be able to bring him up. So I'll tell you what, let's send... There's only so many beds, but let's send him to bed as well. Schuster will require him. And yeah, so hopefully... I need to drag this out just a couple more hours just so that some of these guys can have a rest. But we are at flank speed, and yeah, hopefully we can cut them off before they tap past the ends here at Land's End. Alarm, aircraft. Aircraft's been detected, gotten far too close. That serves us right. I'm going to have to put full rudder on, full speed. And we need a watch officer up here to get on those guns right off the bat. Klaus with an assist. Going to get an assist on Weber so he can very quickly change orders on the engines. Schuster, because he's currently on repair duty. And this plane's sounding awfully close. Here it goes. I see the depth charges fall down. And I think they're just going to miss the worst of our boat, but it was close enough for comfort. Hoffman, and he's firing. There's the boat, and the aircraft. That's just going to circle us now, assuming he's out of ammo. And so, yeah, that was a close call. Lucky, but we're going to carry on diving. The problem is, now that we're shooting and he's firing at us, that's going to alert the convoy to our position that we were trying to flank ahead. So we'll come over to map view, and we'll continue to try flank these guys, doing something like this. Hopefully I can get away from this aircraft. Alright, bringing you about half an hour later, we had to dive down because this boat was continuing to circle us. We had to get away from him just so we weren't being tracked. So we dove down, spent about half an hour down there going quite fast. We've since surfaced. He's no further to be seen. The convoy's disappearing off into the distance, so I really hope we get a few hours now of flank speed. The upside, at least, it got officers a bit more rest. We've just been spotted by an aircraft while we're at periscope depth. He's flying overhead, and there are explosions. We're going to have to surface the boat just in case. Thankfully, he was too far away. Going to radio off that we have spotted the aircraft. And as soon as we're up there, Officer of the Watch Hoffman is going to get on the gun. Here we go. Get on the flat gun with your assistant and start shooting. Tell you what, Captain, give him the assist so it makes everybody that much better. There we go. Aircraft could be lining up for another shot. So just to be sure, I'm going to rudder towards the aircraft, try and close the gap so he can't fire his torpedoes off at us on a broadside. Or he may just be circling in the distance. Once again, I'll bring you back with some sort of an update. God damn it, once again, had to go down to evade this aircraft. He was far too close. Here we are, about 45 meters. We are detecting this convoy over here. The aircraft's just been a little too close. Just after 7 o'clock in the evening now. Man, has this been a difficult one. I've never been forced under by aircraft as many times as this. The 6th of May, 1941. Alright, all the madness has finally wound down a little bit. It's sunset time. We've gotten ahead, and what do you know, we've got a couple of smokestacks up directly ahead of us. This is the convoy I believe we were chasing, and if we just reduce magnification some, where are we? Here we go. I'm almost sure there was something over there as well, but perhaps I was just looking at some of the froth from the splashes. Yeah, so these guys are directly up ahead. So if we come over to the map view, what we need to do is come to the left a little bit so we can cut these guys off. And I'll bring you back once we've got a decent firing solution. All right, we're rigging and dinging. Very unsettled sea, but these guys getting close. Alright, we've got a pal that's joined us, but this destroyer here is awfully close, who's currently trending in our direction. I'm going silent reverse. He's only a kilometer away from us. I had to dunk down a little bit. My plan here, so our ally's taking a shot at another destroyer. My plan is also to take a shot here. So I'm going to come up to periscope depth. We'll see if we can pick this guy off. The H-94 warship. One thing we do have going for us is it is after sundown. And again, the lighting is exaggerated a little bit for the purposes of the stream. And so now the ship, we can hear the alarm bells ringing on the ship. So we're very close to them. And I can only assume that's because of that other U-boat that took a shot at the destroyer. And either the torpedo has been sighted, or it hit and was a dud. Either way, they've become aware that enemy, from their point of view, is in the area. And this guy is pretty much lined up for a shot there. He's very close. It's a destroyer. Just one mast. It does look like that we've got... it's got 4 chimneys with 1 mast. So it could well be the town class here. I'm going to have to go with that one. The 1 mast is very near up the front. Velocity, I'm just going to go with 12. My scope is up as high as it will get. Course AOB, roughly there, 45 degrees. Distance, I just can't tell. Ping, let's crack on with this. I can't tell because the sea is very choppy. 1.1 seems okay. I tell you what, let's fire tubes 2 and we need a bit more on the range there. Let's go to there. And tubes 3, and I'm going to go for a 65 meter spread. Hopefully one of them will connect. We'll increase the speed as well, and let's go for it. Now we are getting pings. Don't forget there are 2 U-boats in the area, and with a bit of luck this will hit. It's possible. I really do hope this is going to connect. This guy is moving very, very slowly. Again, the sea just feels a little rough to get a positive bead on. I'm going to come to a full stop on the engines. And there has been a boat sunk there. We'll report that, although we're not going to get very much for it. And you can stay with us 20 seconds. Let's have a quick look. Those torpedoes are looking pretty good. Let's hope they connect back to periscope view.
10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Let's hope we get something. Yes, that's a nice one.
Schwere Schäden am Rumpf.
What about the other one? I forget the other one. I don't think we set for high speed, so it's still possible it's going to hit, or it's possible that it's missed. And you know, we were lucky there with the spread. Man, did that one sink quickly as well. These torpedoes are particularly good. Let's unlock. And so I don't think the other torpedo is going to hit. So certainly if it's at risk of circling back, there it is. It is doubling back. So we've got to be careful that doesn't hit. So what I'm going to do is just reverse out the way, just in case this torpedo does swing round. Actually, no, it just appears that it's changed course after a set time. Okay, fine. We'll go for this one. I'm still not an expert with the various codes. Some weave back and forth. Some travel a set distance, then turn to a new course, and then again straight line. Others still, you know, got different types of patterns. So we'll radio that off. That's our kill. And we've got a couple more, so let's get this guy here, and then I think that's going to be the end of the episode. So let's see if we can make it happen. I'll bring you back once we're in a suitable firing location. Well, here he is. He managed to sneak past our ideal firing solution ever so slightly. But if we lock him up, it's another one of these tankers, the A1. So let's quickly go. The coast there, November-Alpha 1 with the 2 inhibits there. We'll recognize that. Velocity 13 served as well. He's right on the 90. I'm going to have to do this as quick as possible with the least amount of babbling. Let's get the distance measuring equipment in. The DME. Boom. That'll do. Cube 5, full speed. And turn to the right if it misses after 800 yards. Yes. Plus, that's right, MOT. And with that set for full speed on the steam, they reckon 30 seconds. Hopefully it will be. That's a real nice target profile there. We were lucky that he zigged into us. That's why I was very eager to go for the high speed. We can see now he's starting to zag away already. Should still be a decent profile, assuming we don't miss. 10 seconds, we're going to find out momentarily. Nice, there we go. And it's another instant sink. It's almost as if you hit just after the MOT, it sinks a lot quicker. Certainly sinks from behind, yeah. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. And once again, shout out to Kiwiness. Thanks for being loyal support of the channel. Do check us out on Tactical Takeover if you like the Supreme Commander stuff. I love commentating over there. And until next time, wherever you may be, from somewhere here, let's get the camera out, from somewhere here off the southern coast of the UK, aboard the U-48 in May 1941, they can see the periscope in the sea. We're going to start creeping back to La Rochelle now, and so until then, take care, bye-bye. See ya.